I think that From Software's best game is Sekiro. I feel like it has the best boss quality out of all their games, and while the combat itself is somewhat simple, it ends up being extremely satisfying. Yebushou, Defeat Pirates, seems to have taken a lot of inspiration from Sekiro, so let's say that I'm a bit excited to see what this is all about. Hey guys, how's it going? It's me Fermian here, and today we are taking a look at Yebushou, Defeat Pirates. Taking a quick look at the Steam page, we can watch a trailer for it. Anyone familiar with Sekiro is going to recognize this moveset. Combat does look decent. You know, for a €1 game, I'm not complaining. At a first glance, I gotta say this looks so much better than Elisa Dragon Hunter. At this point, I did not yet realize just how wrong I was gonna be. Before booting up the game, I thought I would take a look at the reviews to see what I'm getting myself into. And it's only one review, saying, it does not work. So of course, I boot it up and thankfully everything seems to function. And the logo looks pretty much like an exact copy of Sekiro. Huh. You know, a single point doesn't mean too much, but 2 points do make a line. Is this game copying Sekiro? We'll find out soon enough. First things first, we go into the settings and from here we can see that the sliders kind of work. Well, let's just say that the interface is a bit clunky and unpolished, but at least everything is doing what it's supposed to do. Previously, I have looked at Elisa Dragon Hunter, and one complaint I had was the inability to check what the controls are in-game. Yebushou is already more advanced, which is a good thing. But sadly, it's not without its issues. I've seen many games which end up only showing the controls for a gamepad layout. Should I forgive them for this? I think we can give them a pass. Although I have to say, it's kind of interesting how they end up mixing some keyboard controls in there for good measure, I guess. Doesn't matter, I'm confident we will be able to play through this without any other problems. We also have the option to choose what language we want to use, so bonus points for that. Anyhow, let's just get into it and... I am never going to say anything bad about slight frame drops ever again. It appears we will not have a smooth experience. You know, back in the old days, around 15 years ago, I would play Flash games on Newgrounds that would end up running like this. Truthfully, it didn't bother me much since they were mostly turn-based games anyway. But for a game like Sekiro, which demands quick responses, I don't think this will end up being very playable, to be honest. I decide to lower the resolution in hopes of it becoming a better experience. Spoiler. It does not become a better experience. I swallow my pride and I decide to play it as it is. Surely it can't be that bad, right? Meanwhile, we discovered Ishin laying dead. No, you heard that right. It's Ishin. Considering that the final boss of Sekiro is lying dead in the tutorial area of this game, must mean that it's a sign of what is to come. We keep going and we have an NPC we can talk to. Sadly, I do not understand a word he's saying, but as it turns out, he will repeat himself in the language the game is set to. Definitely a unique design choice, but a very realistic and interesting one nonetheless. Is what I would say if the game didn't have other areas where translation is not present. We find our first idol, which is pretty much your bonfire that has quit game as an option. You know, I gotta give them credit for that. At the very least, they are self-aware. The skill preparation seems interesting, so I click on it and check to see what it is, and it's your skill tree. First column seems to be melee abilities, second is for archery, and the last one is special techniques, I'm assuming? Something along those lines. We also have a lot of tutorial pop-ups that are super annoying. You need to press cancel 2 times in order to close them, and the translation itself is a bit messy. One thing I absolutely love about Souls games is that if you have a tutorial message pop up, it's not intrusive and it doesn't stop the gameplay itself. I wasn't a huge fan of these pop-ups in Elden Ring, and I much prefer the way tutorials are done in Dark Souls. You just walk over a message, open it up, and read through the provided guide. Unfortunately, this game does it much worse. If you decide you want to read through the message, you have to do it quick since the game does not pause while they are open, and you can die in the meantime. How hard is it to just pick one? small tutorial text that appears and then fades away while not stopping the gameplay, or one that stops the gameplay and you can close it when you feel like it. Instead, what this game does is that it mixes the two together and it creates the most obnoxious one possible, keeping the game active while you are being stuck having to close the pop-up. Then again, this is not the end of the world. There's far worse problems, as I'm sure we've already figured it out. We sneak up against the first enemy we see and we kill it. Well, kind of? Some enemies don't seem to want to die even if you assassinate them. Guess they have the resurrection mechanic from Sekiro. We can also heal, and apparently we can do it an unlimited number of times? Clearly we aren't running out of consumables. I sure hope it's gonna work later. We keep going forward and we see the first boss, so behold, high quality gameplay. No problem, I go again. And again. Nope. I give up. Back to Dark Souls 2 I go.